Have you ever wondered, how do some people predict the future, solve seemingly impossible cases, or even communicate with the afterlife? Are these supernatural abilities real, or are they just masterful illusions? Today, we will uncover one of humanity's greatest mysteries, the hidden secrets behind psychic mediums and their prophetic abilities. Get ready, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see the world. Script 1. The origins and history of psychic mediums. In the shadows of history, there have always been those who claim to see beyond the ordinary, to perceive things that others cannot. These individuals have been called by many names: shamans, prophets, or psychic mediums. But who are they really, and where do their abilities come from? 1. Psychic mediums in ancient history. Ancient Egypt. Thousands of years ago, the shamans of ancient Egypt were seen as intermediaries between the human world and the gods. They performed mystical rituals, interpreted celestial signs, and even communicated with the spirits of the dead. Pharaohs often relied on their advice before making critical decisions, such as going to war or constructing monumental structures. Ancient Greece. In Greece, the Oracle of Delphi, also known as Pythia, was a famous example. She was believed to channel messages from the god Apollo while in a trance. One well-known story tells of Pythia predicting that a great empire would fall during a battle. Interestingly, both King Croesus of Lydia and his enemy interpreted the prophecy as favoring their own side, and both suffered significant losses. China and Feng Shui. In the East, psychics often used tools like Feng Shui and astrology to predict the future. From the Zhou to the Han dynasties, they advised emperors on selecting auspicious dates, locating burial sites, and forecasting natural disasters. For instance, Liu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, is said to have received a prophecy about his rise to power. 2. Famous prophets in history. Nostradamus, 1503 to 1566. One of the most renowned prophets in Western history, Nostradamus, is known for his cryptic poems that allegedly predicted events like the Great Fire of London in 1666, the rise of Napoleon and Hitler, and World War II. However, his writings are often vague, leading to multiple interpretations. The question remains, did he truly foresee these events, or are we retrofitting meaning to his words after the fact? Joan of Arc, 1412 to 1431. Joan of Arc, a French peasant girl, claimed to receive divine guidance from angels, which led her to command French troops in their struggle against the English. Her leadership resulted in significant victories, but she was later tried and executed for her heresy. Her story remains a mystery. Was she truly clairvoyant, or simply a visionary with unshakable faith? 3. Mystical practices and tools. Divination tools. In many cultures, prophets and shamans use special tools like crystal balls, tarot cards, or animal bones to see the future. In Scandinavia, seers known as seer use songs and dances to connect with the gods. The Mayans and the solar calendar. The Mayan civilization was famous for its calendar, believed to predict significant events such as eclipses and even the end of the world. The Mayans interpreted signs from nature as messages from their gods. 4. Philosophical and historical perspectives. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus once said, "Everything flows, but some streams are visible only to a few." This suggests that prophets might be individuals who are more attuned to recognizing patterns and signs overlooked by others. Alternatively, they could simply be master storytellers or observers of human behavior. Throughout history, psychic mediums and prophets have often appeared during times of uncertainty, war, or great societal change. This raises a compelling question. Are psychic abilities a psychological response to humanity's deep need for guidance during turbulent times? Or are they a true gift from the universe? Transition to Part 2. But what happens when modern science confronts these claims? Can experiments prove the existence of supernatural abilities? Or are we simply witnessing extraordinary human talents? Stay tuned for Part 2, where we explore the scientific perspective on psychic phenomena. Script 2. What does science say about psychic abilities? Psychic abilities, long considered supernatural phenomena, have often been scrutinized under the lens of modern science. In this section, we will delve into groundbreaking experiments, the perspectives of prominent scientists, and the intersection of science with the mystical. Can science explain the inexplicable? 1. Scientific experiments on psychic phenomena. The remote viewing experiments at Stanford, 1970s. One of the most notable studies on psychic phenomena was conducted at Stanford in the 1970s by Russell Targ and Harold Puthoff. They explored remote viewing, where participants were tasked with describing locations they had never visited, based solely on geographic coordinates. Amazingly, some participants provided descriptions that closely matched secret military bases. However, critics argued that these results could be due to chance or subjective interpretation, rather than genuine psychic abilities. J.B. Rhine's ESP experiments at Duke University, 1930s. J.B. Rhine, a pioneer in parapsychology, conducted experiments on extrasensory perception, ESP, using Zener cards. Participants were asked to guess symbols, circles, squares, stars, etc. on hidden cards. Some individuals scored significantly above chance levels. Yet, subsequent attempts to replicate these results under stricter conditions failed, casting doubt on the findings. 2. Perspectives of prominent scientists. Carl Sagan, the skeptic. Carl Sagan, the renowned astronomer, famously stated, "Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence." To Sagan, psychic abilities could often be explained by psychological manipulation or coincidence. He emphasized that most claims of psychic phenomena lack rigorous scientific validation. Dean Radin, the supporter. Dean Radin, a researcher in consciousness studies, offers a more optimistic view. He has conducted numerous experiments on collective consciousness and psychic abilities. One of his studies suggested that during major global events, such as disasters, people exhibited heightened intuition, as if a sixth sense was activated. 3. Scientific theories explaining psychic phenomena. Psychology and cold reading. Many researchers suggest that psychic mediums are exceptionally skilled at observing subtle cues. They can interpret body language, voice tone, and micro-expressions to make highly accurate predictions. This technique, known as cold reading, is widely used by illusionists and mentalists. The Four effect, or Barnum effect. This psychological phenomenon explains how people tend to believe vague, general statements are highly specific to them. For instance, when a psychic says, "You've experienced a great loss in your life," most people will interpret it as uniquely relevant to their situation. 4. Unexplainable cases. Even with scientific skepticism, some cases remain puzzling. The story of Ingo Swann, a pioneer in remote viewing. Ingo Swann, a psychic who participated in CIA-sponsored research, accurately described the physical features of Jupiter, including a faint ring system, before it was officially discovered by NASA's Pioneer 10 spacecraft. This case remains one of the most intriguing in the field of psychic studies. Collective premonition before September 11th. A study by the Global Consciousness Project found unusual patterns in random number generators globally just hours before the September 11th attacks. Some interpret this as evidence of collective premonition, suggesting that human consciousness may detect significant events before they happen. 5. The intersection of science and mysticism. Albert Einstein once said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science." This sentiment reminds us that even the greatest scientists acknowledge the limits of human understanding. Modern science might not yet fully explain psychic phenomena, but that doesn't necessarily disprove their existence. Instead, it highlights the vastness of what we have yet to comprehend. Perhaps psychic abilities represent a deeper layer of human consciousness waiting to be uncovered. Transition to part 3. But if scientific experiments provide only partial answers, what about real-world stories? In the next section, we'll explore the most captivating and controversial accounts of psychic abilities, from healing the sick to solving crimes and predicting the future. Are these tales proof of the supernatural or merely clever deceptions? Script 3. Controversial stories about psychic mediums. Stories about psychic mediums have always sparked debate, from their claims of predicting the future, solving unsolvable crimes, to even healing illnesses. But are these stories true, or are they merely skillfully crafted performances? In this section, we'll dive into some of the most famous cases, heated controversies, and let you decide for yourself. 1. Edgar Cayce, the Sleeping Prophet. The fascinating story. Edgar Cayce, an American in the 20th century, earned the nickname the Sleeping Prophet because of his ability to fall into a sleep-like trance and answer questions about health, the future, and even ancient civilizations. One of his most famous predictions was the stock market crash of 1929, which led to the Great Depression. Healing through trance. Cayce also provided health remedies while in his trance state. For example, he recommended a homemade treatment for a man suffering from chronic stomach pain, and the patient's condition reportedly improved significantly. The controversy. Skeptics argue that Cayce's success came from his deep knowledge of traditional medicine and psychology, rather than supernatural insight. Nevertheless, thousands of testimonials and case records remain as evidence of his abilities. 2. Noreen Rainier, the Psychic Detective. High-profile cases. Noreen Rainier is an American psychic known for her involvement in criminal investigations. One notable case involved a missing girl in Florida. Rainier provided details about the location of the body and key evidence that helped the police solve the case. Police endorsements. Several police officers have acknowledged Rainier's accuracy, claiming that she provided details that were not publicly available. However, critics argue that she might have accessed information through unofficial channels or relied on deductive reasoning. Legal controversies. Rainier has faced lawsuits over inaccurate claims in some cases, raising questions about the authenticity of her abilities. Is she genuinely gifted, or simply a highly observant individual with sharp intuition? 3. Shocking predictions. Jeane Dixon and the Kennedy assassination. Jane Dixon, a prominent American psychic, famously predicted in 1956 that a U.S. president would be assassinated in the early 1960s. When President John F. Kennedy was killed in 1963, her prediction gained immense attention. However, Dixon also made many inaccurate predictions, such as claiming World War III would begin in the 1950s. Baba Vanga, the blind prophet of Bulgaria. Baba Vanga is one of the most controversial psychics in modern history. She allegedly predicted the 9/11 attacks, saying, 2 steel birds will collide. However, her predictions were often vague and only interpreted as accurate after events occurred. 4. Fraudulent cases. Sylvia Browne and false predictions. Sylvia Browne, a well-known American psychic, appeared on numerous TV shows, claiming to foresee the future. However, she made several glaring mistakes. In one case, she told the parents of a missing girl that their daughter was dead, only for the girl to be found alive years later. Scams and seances. Many psychics have been exposed for using fraudulent methods during seances. They relied on social media, public records, or leading questions to give the illusion of supernatural knowledge, fooling their audiences into believing they were connecting with the spirit world. 5. A balanced perspective. Supporters' view. Supporters argue that the successful cases of psychic mediums prove their abilities. Solved crimes and accurate predictions suggest there is more to their claims than mere chance or intuition. Skeptics' view. Skeptics, however, believe these stories are coincidences or results of clever psychological manipulation. Richard Dawkins, a famous biologist, once asked, "If psychic abilities are real, why hasn't any psychic won a major scientific prize?" 6. Where science meets mysticism. The overlap. Despite the controversies, it's undeniable that some psychic phenomena remain unexplained. Dean Radin, a researcher on consciousness, once said, "Science and spirituality don't have to conflict. Perhaps spirituality is simply science we don't yet understand." Transition to Part 4. But psychic phenomena aren't just limited to individual cases. When viewed through the lens of philosophy and spirituality, they can teach us profound lessons about life and consciousness. In the next section, we'll explore philosophical and spiritual perspectives on psychic abilities and what they reveal about the human mind and the universe. Script 4. Philosophical and spiritual perspectives on psychic abilities. Psychic abilities are not just about mysticism or controversial predictions. Beneath these phenomena lies a deeper philosophical and spiritual perspective on humanity and the universe. Could psychic abilities be an untapped potential within all of us, or are they merely products of belief and culture? 1. Philosophy and Psychic Abilities, Thinking Beyond the Limits, René Descartes and the Question of Reality. The philosopher René Descartes, known for his famous declaration, "I think, therefore I am, cogito, ergo sum," laid the groundwork for exploring the nature of consciousness. He questioned, is what we see and feel truly real, or just a product of our minds? This perspective suggests that psychic abilities might not be supernatural, but rather a way of perceiving an alternate layer of reality. Carl Jung and the collective unconscious. Psychologist Carl Jung proposed the idea of a collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of memories and experiences inherent to all humans. Jung believed psychic abilities could be a connection to this collective consciousness, allowing individuals to tap into universal knowledge. He once wrote, "Dreams, symbols, and intuition are bridges between personal consciousness and the collective unconscious." This theory offers a plausible explanation for how some psychics seem to know things beyond their personal experiences. 2. Spirituality and psychic abilities. Intuition. The sixth sense? Since ancient times, intuition has been seen as a sixth sense. It's believed that when the mind is calm enough, people can sense the energy around them and predict future events. A well-known saying in Eastern philosophy states, "When the mind is still, clarity emerges." Perhaps psychic mediums are simply individuals who have mastered this intuitive connection on a higher level. Energy and the human aura. Many spiritual traditions suggest that the human body is surrounded by an energy field, often referred to as the aura. Psychics are thought to read these energy fields to understand a person's thoughts, emotions, and even future. Modern physics, through quantum mechanics, also hints at the idea that everything emits energy, possibly providing a scientific basis for such spiritual theories. 3. Lessons from philosophers and spiritual masters. Socrates and listening to the inner self. Socrates once said, "Know thyself." To him, understanding oneself and connecting deeply with the mind were the keys to accessing higher knowledge. This perspective suggests that psychic abilities might represent an advanced awareness of one's inner world. Teachings from spiritual masters. In spiritual traditions like Buddhism and Hinduism, the ability to see the truth, predict the future, or connect with spirits is not considered extraordinary. The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This implies that psychic phenomena may not be miraculous, but rather the result of a fully awakened mind. 4. Psychic abilities in the modern world. Untapped human potential. Many modern researchers believe that the human brain is only partially utilized. Abilities like psychic intuition, future prediction, or empathic sensitivity might be the result of an exceptionally developed brain. Inventor Nikola Tesla once remarked, "If you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." This aligns with spiritual ideas about the interconnectedness of all things. Psychological resonance. Psychological studies suggest that people can resonate deeply with one another on an emotional level, particularly when they share a strong connection. This resonance could explain why some psychic mediums seem able to sense or know things about others without prior knowledge. 5. The lessons of psychic phenomena, connection and belief. A deeper understanding of humanity. Whether real or not, psychic abilities remind us that humans are capable of profound understanding and connection. Both spirituality and philosophy urge us to listen more, not just with our ears, but with our hearts. Respecting the unknown. Physicist Richard Feynman once said, "I am not afraid of not knowing. It is the foundation of true understanding." Psychic phenomena, while not fully explained, serve as a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the limits of our current knowledge. Perhaps their true value lies in inspiring us to ask deeper questions. Transition to conclusion. From history, science, philosophy, and spirituality, psychic phenomena remain a captivating mystery. Whether you believe in their existence or not, they challenge us to think beyond the ordinary and explore the profound depths of the human mind and the universe. Ultimately, what do you think? Do psychic abilities represent hidden truths or human imagination? Let's leave that question open for you to ponder. So, we've explored the fascinating journey into the secrets of psychic mediums, from history and science to philosophy and spirituality. But in the end, the answer doesn't lie with us. It lies with you. Do you believe that psychic abilities truly exist? Or are these simply stories crafted to captivate our attention? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos as we continue to delve into the world's most intriguing mysteries. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.